Hi, I'm Janice Brown. I'm doing my video for the scenario with the sixth grade academy. Um, I'm gonna start with my introduction and context. Uh, and this is kind of how it would go. As a teacher leader and curriculum coach, my role is to support teachers through instructional change while ensuring alignment with student needs, curriculum coherence, and adult learning principles. Our school is preparing for a significant structural shift in August as we transition into the sixth grade academy, which will be the new name. This model changes instructional times from 45 minutes rotations to 55-minute blocks, which reduces movement by establishing homeroom teachers that would kind of transition into first and second periods and move from single subject teachers per team to two teachers teaching two subjects each. And this is mainly would incorporate the math and social studies, ELA, and science. Because of these changes, because these changes affect instructional identity, planning, pacing, teacher roles, it must be introduced intentionally. And like I said, this is the introduction of the context of how I would handle that. But it must be introduced intentionally, collaboratively, with respect for the teacher as adult learners. Basically, as far as potential conflicts or roadblocks in resolutions, I think one conflict I thought of right off was teacher resistance. The teacher anxiety about teaching outside their strongest content area, particularly for teachers now expected to teach two subjects rather than one. That would be a big change for teachers. I think how I would address the roadblock or the conflict would be to acknowledge the concern openly and don't minimize it. Teacher resistance often reflects fear of losing, that competency or professional confidence. So most of the time, it's the teacher resistance is what I feel would be the biggest problem. To resolve it, I would contact or conduct individual small group listening sessions to identify any specific concerns, kind of get it more specific. Work with administration to match pairings strategically, meaning put a lot of thought into it, not just put teachers, without thinking about their feelings or their background or what they're comfortable with. Is honoring strengths whenever possible. And I definitely advocate for embedding the professional learning time and co-planning structures before August, so we can kind of devote most of our time to getting everything off the ground. And I think by reframing the change as a supported transition rather than imposed, like a reassignment, it's instead of words matter. Teachers are more likely to feel respected and they're willing to engage more. The timeline for introducing this curriculum shift in a realistic way, I would start mid-January because I kind of, like you said, this scenario is supposed to start in January in the scenario. So mid-January, I would probably January 15th to 20th, that's the initial awareness, meaning the principal and I would co-introduce the vision. during a faculty meeting. Tell them the purpose, transparency, uh, early awareness, not a decision finalization, but teachers receive one-page overview, uh, something pretty short outlining what's changing, and that is still flexible, open to, uh, suggestions, or, just make sure you're listening. That's the big thing. Um, Early February, like maybe around the 15th to the 16th, listening feedback phase, grade level meetings, um, anonymous survey collections from the teachers, any questions and concerns. That particular part aligns with adult learning needs. The adult learners need to feel heard before committing to change. And I say around March, probably pretty much a whole, like 4th to the 22nd, collaborative design phase. What that would incorporate is teachers participate in curriculum mapping sessions to explore how 2 block subjects could work, because mind you, these teachers are used to only doing one subject, so you definitely want to do a curriculum session. Also in this same session, sample schedules and pacing guides are reviewed, but we got to keep it that it's not mandated, but just review. Around April 8th through 26th, around that area, professional learning and skill building, targeting, just targeted professional development. That's going to be the key, based on teacher need, content refresher, co-planning strategies. Teachers begin to realize, can kind of start visualizing themselves and seeing themselves succeeding in a new model. So around this time, it's already been about 4 meetings held on professional development. Around May, which is coming to the close of the school year, 6th to the 20th, around there. This is going to be the commitment and closure time, meaning we would work on like the final teaching assignments shared. Teachers help refine pacing and expectations. Momentum is built before summer break, because you don't want them to be guessing during summer break. You want them to know what's going on, and like I said, not wondering how it's going to be. And the rationale behind this phase, the reason why I chose this, is because the timeline honors the adult learners' need for time, relevance, ownership, rather than rushing, buying in through top-down mandates. And just saying, okay, this is what we were told we got to do, so we got to do it. But you actually take the time, make them feel like they're relevant, and so they can take ownership of it. The 2 strategies I would choose to promote the teacher buy-in while incorporating the NOLS, I would say one would be teacher voice and shared decision making. Like, this strategy, it reflects NOLS' principle of self-concept, which states that adult needs and autonomy and involvement in decisions affecting their workplace. I feel that's really important, and adults feel that's important to be heard, especially professionals and teachers, and really anybody. That's one strategy. And teachers help shape the pacing, transitions, subject pairing, their feedback directly informs the final decisions, the positions, teachers, this position teachers as partners and not just being told what to do. That's important. The second strategy I would use is immediate relevance and practical application, meaning, well, first, it aligns with Knoll's principle of readiness to learn, which emphasizes that adults are motivated when learning solves real problems. So professional learning focuses on real classroom scenarios, longer blocks, reduced transitions, which is the basic, that's what they're doing. Teachers see immediate benefits, fewer interruptions. So kind of focus on the benefits, fewer interruptions, stronger relationships, deeper instructions, because you're seeing your kid longer, so you're able to get to know them better. And the relevance increases buy-in because teachers see how the change improves daily practice. So you have to kind of flip it sometimes and let them see the positives. Implementation and support. As far as closing, as a curriculum coach, I would continue support beyond August by facilitating like bi-weekly check-ins during the first quarter, data reviews, instructional adjustments, celebrating early wins to reinforce confidence. And you got to remember, change is more successful when teachers feel supported during, before, and after the implementation. And my final reflection is the transition to the sixth grade academy represents more than just a schedule change. It's basically a cultural shift. By addressing conflict proactively before it happens, introducing change gradually, not just one meeting, and honoring adult learning principles, teacher buy-in becomes a shared outcome rather than a forced requirement. Thank you.